Hello, I am Manthan Goswami, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the recently released show Aspirants by TVF. Now, this is not going to be a series review or the review of the show. This is, in fact, going to be about my personal journey while I was in New Delhi. Now, my friends and family knows that I've lived in old RajendraNagar from 2017 and 18 when I had prepared for the UPSC Civil Services examination. And for some reason, this show of TVF really struck emotionally, and I've not been able to come out of this show even after so many days. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly the 4 reasons why I feel this show is just amazing. Reason number 1, the real life locations. Now, as somebody who has stayed in New Delhi and in old RajendraNagar specifically for 1 year, I can vouch for the fact that most of the scenes, in fact almost all the scenes of old RajendraNagar have been shot in real life locations. मैंने अपने सारे दोस्तों को call किया after watching this series, and even they said that they could relate to the series because of the real life locations. In fact, some of my friends who are still in New Delhi sent me videos जब real life shooting चालू था during the lockdown. This show was also shot on the real life locations because there was no crowd due to COVID. Otherwise ये सारे places में इतना crowd होता है कि shooting almost impossible हो जाता. Now the real life locations like juice centers, like that tea shop, like the bookstores, like that scenes of yellow cover pages. Now anybody who has prepared for the civil services and has been in old RajendraNagar would really correlate to this show. It became very touching and personal. The show became very close to the heart. Now, one of the reasons was that the maker of the show, the director Apurva Singh Karki, has himself been an UPSC aspirant, and he had stayed in old RajendraNagar, and that was one important reason he could deliver this story so beautifully. Reason number 2 why I love this show is storytelling. Now, they very rightly said that nobody delivers the story as beautifully as TVF. After making some remarkable shows, Aspirants is one such show which again struck chord with many people. Now, there is one incident in the episode 4 where SK sir breaks down because he does not have a plan B. I would like to share a similar experience from my life in Delhi. On the first day of my coaching institute, in fact even before then, when I was filling up the form to take a admission in the coaching center, on the right side of mine I found this guy who was filling up the form. When I looked at his form, I found he had written IISc Bangalore. I got curious and I looked at my left, and a girl wrote IIT Bombay. And then I looked ahead and there was this guy who wrote St. Stephen's College. I was really amused by the kind of the institutions from which people came to New Delhi. And I've gone 5 to 6 months. Some of us were friends, and on many occasions I would find some of them really feeling low. They would be eating their pens and pencil, would be really nervous, and when we talk to them, they would tell us they are really worried. What if they couldn't clear this exam? I mean, I thought like all of these people have been to great institutions. I thought they had a great career to fall back on. Even if they could not clear the civil services examinations, they could get easy placements because of their colleges, but that was not true. Irrespective of which college you went to or what profession you were in, this fear of failing in UPSC examinations gets very intense and very real. I've literally seen people crying even if they've been to great colleges or had great careers, because this fear is so real and so intense. And therefore, when even I called some of my friends who were prepared for the examinations, who were with me in New Delhi, saying the same thing, ke episode 4 mein this one incident of SK sir breaking down and crying was really emotional, and it touched chord with, I believe, millions and millions of aspirants. Reason number 3 why I love this show is the casting. Now, if we talk about the cast of the show, I believe there is one character which was widely talked about, Sandeep Bhaiya. Ever since the series hit YouTube, Sandeep Bhaiya was trending on Twitter, on Instagram, and people were talking about it. Now, there is one reason behind it. दिल्ली में हमारे एक फैकल्टी ने हमें ऑन द वेरी फर्स्ट डे कहा था कि अगर आपको 10-11 महीना सर्वाइव करना है इस इकोसिस्टम में, तो आपको 3 चीज़ें मिलनी बहुत ही ज़रूरी है. नंबर 1, वेरी गुड PG. नंबर 2, अ वेरी गुड टीचर. एंड नंबर 3, विच इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू सर्वाइव इन राजेंद्र नगर, इज़ अ मेंटर, इज़ अ सीनियर, or we can call a Sandeep Bhaiya. Even I had my bhaias because I was from Gujarat. I would call bhai. I had Sunil bhai, Devang bhai. All of these were my seniors. They have been preparing for UPSC services for more years than I was. And right from, the simple question of which newspaper should we read, the Hindu or the Indian Express, to even asking them about some bigger and larger life decisions, these bhaias are really very special. And therefore, the one reason why Sandeep Bhaiya's character was so well appreciated and accepted by people was because you always have this one memory of a mentor, of a senior who guided you so correctly, who had been there and given you little life lessons which were very important, not just in preparations for UPSC but even for the larger life. And reason number 4 which makes this show special is the scripting part. I mean, the show moves in two parallel time zones. You would have the show moving from the past to the present, and it makes it interesting. Now, not all filmmakers can do it. There are many shows and many series who fail at this point when they run two parallel time zones, but this series did it so wonderfully. It's also important from my personal point of view because I think all those aspirants who whether cleared the exam or couldn't clear the exam, they keep thinking about their days in RajendraNagar. It's been 2 to 3 years since I left Delhi, but still on many occasions, whenever there is union budget or whenever I see the pictures of Parliament, the 26th parade, and I think other aspects related to the preparations or time in Delhi, one would really keep going to the past, thinking about the days of preparations, and while you're preparing, you keep thinking about the future. So this timeline really stays. Now you can come out of old RajendraNagar, but old RajendraNagar can never come out of you. They also say that once an aspirant is always an aspirant. Of course, you go through a much deeper and intense drilling while at the academy or while you join the forces, you join the services, but I think there is equally intense drilling when you even prepare for the examinations. Anybody who had stayed there for 10 to 11 months or longer would know what this drilling is like. This show was wonderful. It was exceptional and it was important. It was important to put out the story of an aspirant out there. For people, it's just one human being who has cut off from the world, went to New Delhi and is preparing for 12 to 13 hours in a day. But in reality, it's a lot more. It's many emotions, it's many ups and downs, it's those moments of stress, it's those moments of friendship and love. And this was so beautifully showcased in this wonderful show. Thank you to the makers of TVF for taking us to this nostalgic dive in the past. It was special, and thank you for making this show.